I held that in for way too long. And welcome to episode 9 of the Purplestickey PoTcast. I'm still blowing out smoke. Um, welcome. Yesterday we had Bradford Tatum on, and before that, past week we had Renee Allman. And I could not seem to get these awesome people in the same show at the same time. Um, Stoner move. So, real quick, before I carry on with what I was about to say, carrying on with our Stone Age Halloween podcast situation. I just wanted to let you know, the fans of Purplestickey, Rake and I. I'm sorry Rake Young couldn't be here tonight, but if you'd like to support our band and our debut album coming out on 420, our albums are available for $6. Link in bio on my Instagram profile, the Purplestickey Instagram. $6, people. Get them while you can. All right. And that'll help us fund our debut album that's coming out April 20th, 2022, that we haven't even got to record yet. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce, now I can't even speak. I'd like to introduce, from the movie The Stone Age, Michael Kopelow and Bradford Tatum. How are you guys?
Oh my God, they're so fucking old. What happened?
I don't know. They partied.
What technical difficulties? All right, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Michael and Bradford, you guys sound like monsters. So we're having audio issues now, Rob. Is there something we can do about that, Rob?
Well, let's talk about
Okay, Rob, you sound like a monster too. Should I hop off?
Yeah, y'all sound fine.
Right, give me a second.
Come back on. Welcome to the Rob Wild Show, man. I got movie stars today, baby. We got wrestling stars. We got movie stars. We got all the stars in the galaxy coming to the Off the Hook Network. What's up, fellas?
Oh, wow. It's trippy because I'm seeing Brad for the first time in a little while.
I know.
Is it really me having the audio issues here?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh! All right, this sucks.
Other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
We had Bradford on last night, man, and I gotta be honest. Usually when I produce a podcast, I just play it and I listen for issues, look for new guests. But I was watching your show yesterday, man. I'm being in the entertainment business as well. It's just awesome to hear what insiders say, like the real scoop, how it really is. None of this, let me make sure my publicist doesn't cut in and fuck up the interview. You were just telling it how it was. It was great.
Kinda. Yeah. Doing my best.
Kinda. Yeah.
But Stone Age is not your typical Hollywood movie. In fact, I wouldn't even say that thing was made in fucking Hollywood.
It wasn't.
Yeah, but you shot so far past.
No, it didn't have the Hollywood vibe at all on it.
Zero.
And a lot of it was Mike. A lot of it was you, for me. Just
really?
How welcoming you were from audition to fucking being cast to like, hey, let's split the inseam of our jeans to look like we're in the 70s because these cocksuckers who are running the show won't admit that it's a period film. But
everything.
This is a period film, so let's make it a period film. I mean,
from the dress to the language to everything. I was like, this is the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And that was even as a kid watching it, I got that.
It felt like guerrilla filmmaking is what it felt like, with like, moving car shots and shit. Like it didn't. No, there was very little oversight.
I think it absolutely spoiled me for everything that came afterwards.
Totally.
Because I was like, it was like, if this is what a movie can be, like, well, I'm in. I want to do this forever.
And why don't they all like this?
It's like wrong.
Yeah, but you stepped so far out of just the Stone Age on your insight into the whole world of Hollywood. I was riveted through the whole thing.
Well, my wife's in it and my kid is just now getting into it. And my kid went into it like from 0 to 60 and then COVID hit. And then she's like now working retail, waiting for a movie to come out.
Yeah.
So I'm inundated with it, like I literally go to bed with it. I wake up to it. it's, and you know, my wife is in the soap opera world, which is like, imagine Hollywood run by a sorority. It's a fucking.
That sounds just like
they're just bold-faced, obvious about their favoritism, and oh well, maybe you shouldn't wear that, and you know, I don't like you today, or we're not going to write for you this week. It's just Stone Age was on this end, and then soap opera. I mean, it's just yeah.
How you doing, Christian? Are you fixed?
Yeah, I'm fixed.
Hey, sorry, man. I had to take over. We had the bullshit while you were gone.
So, what did I miss on my own show? No.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna get on back. You guys will have a good one.
You're gonna be pretty surprised.
All right, so that's exactly how I expected it to go. Was something had to go wrong. Now I finally got you both here together, and then I said, "Hey, I'll fuck around and put fuck me there because it won't work." And then of course I can hear everybody, and now I'm stuck with that. So, carrying on.
It's very appropriate, you know, talking about the Stone Age. It would be
right. Nice. All right, so Michael, how are you, dude?
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm all right.
So, and how? When's the last time both of you spoke?
I was running a restaurant in Studio City, and
that's right.
And Brad just sauntered in. I was just like, or by as I was coming in, I think, and I was like, hey, man.
Long time no see.
Yeah, and it was quick. It was you know, it was affectionate and deep and beautiful, and you know, and I was like, well, you're still here. I'm really glad to, you know, there it is. And like we relived like the whole experience in seconds. This is
cool.
What I get every time I see this guy. I just relive that entire incredible experience within like a microcosm. I was like, yeah, it did happen. It did happen.
That's nice. That's nice if you guys could still like see each other and still have that like moment and I guess quickly.
Well, Brad was saying earlier how in some kind of way I brought to life the time period or the spirit of the film when he met me, and just that experience of filming, to put it back to you, Brad, was it just made every single day like I couldn't wait to get on set, and because what was happening in between the shots was just as interesting and fulfilling for me as what was happening when we were actually doing the scenes and going, I can't believe this is what we're doing. Like it's like we're actually going to say these words and bring these words in this kind of new language, but familiar at the same time to life, which was, you know, very, very pleasurable.
All right.
Unusual.
So yesterday, me and Bradford were talking about like being typecast. Were you typecast as like a rocker?
100%. That's why I got into it.
Okay.
When I was in theater school, a pretty, I guess, notorious kind of famous Shakespearean actor came to our school and told us straight up when someone raised their hand and said, "So what? You know, is all this like studying Shakespeare and classical theater worth it?" And he's basically said, you know, hey, I'm probably never going to be asked back to speak again, but yes and no, but mostly no, because for your first 5 or 6 years of Hollywood, if you're into it, you're going to be typecast. Stereotyped is what you look like, and if you have any chops, if you can act worth a damn, you can, you know, eventually reinvent yourself and reimplant yourself in there. But and I was like, fuck it, let's do that now. Let's do that now. Let's just get this over with. And I raced as fast as I could into plays and out of school, and had a succession of roles where I basically was like the same dude until the Stone Age, and I was actually able to like bring some more life and character and depth to something. But yeah, absolutely.
That was another question I had on your IMDb. The and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It kind of says like you were yourself.
I was asked to be in that film, and the director did not have a role for me.
Okay.
I showed up every day, and she was like, "At some point, I'm going to stick you in this film." And I was like, "Okay." I said, I read the script, and I had ideas myself. She's like, "No. And so it was like really weird. I showed up for like day after day after day after day until finally she's like, okay, all right, I'm going to throw you in this scene and the camera's going to like land on you. And I want you just to, I don't know, make something up, just improvise, just say something. And that is the honest truth of what happened. And then that's what happened.
I've always been intrigued. I was like, he played himself. Like, how did that work out there? Okay.
Yeah, I dressed however I just dressed as I was going to dress for the day, and had no scripted part, no character, and just watched them shoot and hung out, and then finally, and then one day she's like, I think her name is Fran. She goes, hey, today's the day. I got this idea, and I'm like, you want any more? You want another scene or anything? She's like, maybe. So I stuck around for a little longer. And she's like, no, we're good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, when I was so I grew up in the 90s, and so I would watch movies that were maybe not for my age group, as I discussed with Bradford the other night. So I would just, being young, I would compare, the faces of the actors I would see, from movie to movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw you, and I was like, so when I saw Stone Age, I was like, that's the guy from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dad.
Yep.
And I was like, that's so rad. And so and that's why I was telling Bradford, I kind of like followed you guys around from movie to movie, just
that's cool
from what I saw, and just, you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, I'm a fan of these guys. Because you guys bring, I don't want to say the same element to all your roles, but it's you. Each of you are bringing something of you to these roles, and that's what's sticking with me and your other fans. But yeah, at a young age, I was following you guys, and I was just like, these are some cool guys. And to me, you guys were like the Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp. I was the grunge kid. I was like, these are the people I want to see on screen more. You know what I mean? So hey, it's a compliment.
Yeah, I hope not Johnny Depp now. Woo! Poor man.
Not now. Of course not now. I've said 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Definitely not now.
I understand. I did that with certain actors growing up, and I was always like really excited when I see them progress or get another role or whatever it was. But I get that. Thank you. I get that.
Right, and then I was watching. It was a while ago. When my son was a little bit younger, and he had something on Nickelodeon. I think I saw you on like Drake and Josh or something like that, and I was like, no fucking way. That's cool. It was cool. It was cool. It was just like
set and dressed myself, and
I was like, Daddy's got to show you another movie he's in. You know.
There you go.
But, right. So one question I do have for both of you, because I've heard some of these podcast interviews you guys have done in the past, and you guys, Stone Age being a cult classic, you guys have fond memories. You guys definitely cherish this being a part of this movie and that process, and I'd say you guys hold it dear. But I've met other actors that I became like friends with, and they're like, I don't want to be that one character. I don't want to keep talking about that one character. I don't want to be known as just that guy. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever been in that position, or have you guys just completely embraced the love?
You want to go, Brad?
I didn't think the Stone Age would find a lot of love, to be honest with you. I took the part because it reminded me of American Graffiti if John Hughes had written it. Like it was far smarter than it seemed on the surface, far more insightful. And so it was shot during all the daylight hours. So it felt underground. And yet I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Mike, but even at our screening, people were very cautious about it, because we were just tipping into the PC world, and it was vibing fairly misogynistic. And so I thought, and then Trimark said, hey, let's try this new thing called the DVD release. And I thought, well, that's it. It'll never see the light of day. But it was cool, and it was great. And at least I don't hate acting anymore. And then it was only when I kind of begrudgingly got on Facebook and I realized what a huge impact it had on people's lives. I would absolutely like to be a catalyst for someone's best memories of their childhood. So I would have to answer, no, I don't mind being associated with Hubs at all, because I'm not Hubs and I do a lot of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea how deep this thing went. Even after doing the podcast with you, I was hit up by a guy who was like, I hope this isn't creepy, but that movie was like formative. Really? Yeah. Like it really, really resonates on a deep emotional level. It's not just they jerked off to it or they got excited by it. It told the truth to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I thought I was seeing that, but I didn't know anybody else would. I know Mike was seeing that because that's what he was bringing to it. Even everybody was actually, Renee and China, everybody was. But I thought no one's going to get that because everybody was excited about Dazed and Confused, and it has to get a theatrical release, and it's a cult hit because it failed, because it didn't get what movies that get forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
You discovered it, and then you would get ownership of it, and then that's the fucking greatest stoner movie ever made. Fuck everything else. Stoned Age is the one, because I discovered that at 11:30 at night before closing in the Modesto fucking Best Buy or Blockbuster. This is my movie, and amazing to be associated with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I would. I'm right on that same level, or it doesn't bother me at all, because it disappeared. The movie just disappeared. It was like we put all this heart and soul into it. For me, it was an absolute triumph when it actually started to come and sort of like sprouts were popping up, and I would have that Modesto experience. But I was traveling a lot at the time, and I'd be at some like Denny's, Waffle House, whatever it was, and some shaking waitress would come up to me and be like, "I'm sorry, but are you Joe?" And I'm like, I go, oh, and I would go, "Oh my God, oh my, you've seen it?" And I didn't have the Facebook for a while, or with Facebook, and then got it for work purposes at the time, and then I started to see this like bubbling up of it, and for me it was a very it was a triumph, because I fought artistically to play a character against the grain and play him real and present and a thinking young, like I was a thinking person. I still am, and I never saw that. I never saw that represented in the sort of dopey teenage kind of stoner-esque kind of cult films, where you have somebody, a young person who has a conscience that isn't just like, let's give it all you got, let's do it all night long. But like this guy, I wanted to have that experience of seeing yourself, because I never saw myself in films, and I was hoping to accomplish that, where like some kid, whoever it was, watching the movie and go, I relate to fucking that. That's me. Oh my God, I was that guy. Like, holy shit. Just like, going along with everything that people were going along with, but I was having a deeper feelings and thoughts, and knew there was something, there's got to be something else in this shit, And I remember at one point there was, I got confronted after about 2 days of shooting, where the producers were like, we don't think he's funny enough. But we were shooting all these like kind of heavy, not heavy. Yeah, that really happened.
Oh, come on.
It did. And then we changed the shooting schedule so that Jim could shoot one of the funnier scenes, because they were watching the dailies. And we were shooting some of the more like, dialogue heavy, shit. And then I did, I swear. And they gave me that, like, Jim's like, I don't know. And I said, I'm not changing the character. I mean, I'm not always going to make him goofy now and go like, what the fuck? So Jim was like, all right, well, I think we're also rich. They're like, well, shit. So they moved the scene around where I'm a little bit more, that was, I guess, funnier. And then they saw the dailies, and then I was off the hook. And they're like, oh, he's really funny. Yeah, but that for real happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I kept that, I was like, I don't want to spook anybody. But I was like, I'm just gonna ride this one out, and let's just, and Jim was awesome, and so was Rich. And they're like, there's no way we don't see the movie without you. So let's just shoot one of the funnier scenes and just move it. And we did. And then the producers, or the people watching those dailies were like, he's good. Stick it out. And I was like, cool. All right. Maybe there's hope.
Well, I liked how your character had a noticeable conscience from the get-go. And then you were like Hubs's conscience as well. You like got both of you to like think at times. But the camera would but it was good when it was like just focusing on you, and it would show that facial expression of like, I don't necessarily like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was really like, I noticed everything you were doing. It was the carefree, and then it was the guy who was like, or I'm pointing to the wrong one, and then it's the one that wants to be, there's got to be a little bit more to what we're doing. You know what I mean? You weren't looking for an answer. You were just kind of just in your own moment. You did a really good job. Both of you like compliment. I told him the other night, you both complimented each other so well. And he said you guys didn't know each other very well, long at all. And I said, the way the movie started, it was like you guys had known each other for a good while. You guys had built something. And he said, yeah, that was the dynamic we came up with. But yeah, in a short period of time.
It was just right there. I remember like when Brad came in for the audition, and I just felt it. He just walked in. It just had this like swagger and this feel, and it just like it helped me soften my character and go, oh great, there's so much room. And he was just, to me, it was just brilliant. I was like, that's the guy. There he is. Joe has finally really met Hubs. Here he is as a character. And then just the dynamic and the play, and just it been like we've been doing it our whole lives or something. Like it felt that here we go. And then he turned out to be this incredible, human being with this amazing depth that I could talk to. I would get upset sometimes, be like, really, we got to shoot? Brad and I are having a conversation right now.
That's so true. That's so true.
So it was yin and yang on and off the set there.
Well, I also think a lot of it is that I was the Joe character in life. So like the character I related to when I read the script was Joe's. Always going along with it, always trying to be part of it. But pulling straight A's, reading books, thinking, writing, sculpting, being artistic, being called a fag. All that was my world. And I knew that Hubs needed to be the gateway to get the audience in. And when I was like, but guess what, motherfuckers? That's not what this movie's about. It's about a thinking man stoner. Like the Woody Allen of stoners is how a lot of people on the set were talking about it. And they would laugh. And I think, but think about how original that is. When have you ever seen that before? Or since? You've never seen that since.
Yeah. It was such a delicate line.
And I loved that element. It was just like, go, Michael, just do it. The naturalism is what is the heart and soul of this thing. You can see a lot of fucking assholes like Hubs posturing in a lot of movies, but the dynamic is different, and Michael's performance is different. And to me, that's what makes it. I think that's what gives it its staying power without people even realizing it, because it's so other. You know what I mean? It's an other point of view of a very familiar world.
Oh yeah. I mean, but it was just like I'm nowhere on the level of acting on you guys where you guys are at. I've done one film, but I can say from that experience, and then watching myself, it means a lot to have chemistry with who you're working with on screen. I mean, and it was fucked up the first time I get a lead in a movie, an independent film. They get Joseph Ganascoli, Vito from Sopranos, and I'm like, I have a scene with him. I'm like, I've never acted before. Oh, okay, let's do this. And it was wild because I could see what I didn't pull off. I could see where I wasn't in it. I like wholeheartedly at all. But I don't blame that completely on me. The production I was dealing with was kind of like there was no prep, there was no this amount of time. It was like, okay, let's go now. And I'm like, where are we? And I just jump right in, and I had to figure out the line right then and there. But with you guys in your movie, like for instance, like yeah, you could tell every inch of when you guys would talk to each other, even if it was just like laughing, like when you're like, what the fuck is submarine? And then, you Bradford was genuinely laughing from you saying that. And it was like you could feel it the whole way through, everything you guys dealt with. Even like when your character went off with Lainey and left Hubs. You know what I mean? You were even thinking about that, like, what? Like, let me go get him. And she's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it was very, everybody did a very good job dominating their role and showing their feelings more than just using words. So, I mean, I think that's personally why I love the movie so much.
Well, that was, I think, well, all the actors in it were just like spot on. I agree with that. And there was something that I felt that just kind of gave me so much room and freedom is Brad. For me, Brad brought in this element of that, like, it wasn't like fatherly or big brotherly, and it was like the caring alpha in a way. He's like, he really, really, almost like a mentor in a way. That it was that was so unique to me and so wonderful to play off of, and really just identified everything. And it was, and like Joe was like, he's over it because he's like, he doesn't want to do those things. He wants to do something else. It's like, we can't keep doing this, every night and it'd be this fun all the time. But what the bond was there, the sort of like the friendship, was there, and no matter what they would do to each other like that, and that wasn't like, that just was there. That for me just developed. It wasn't like these, like in parentheses, these two are best friends. It wasn't there, and that was I mean, for me, just character-wise, it's just a gift, and so wonderful to play with. That I can do whatever I want, but that he's still going to be right there. That other rail that's holding this train of the movie is just as solid. We're not going to derail. We're going to keep going, and that was so cool. And all the other actors as well. But all my scenes are predominantly with Brett.
Okay, so one thing I was curious about, and we started to Bradford started to let us in on something funny the other night. So I'll start it like this, Michael. Do you anything on set or off set during the filming of the Stonehenge that was just like the funniest memory for you?
Mm-hmm.
Or you had multiple?
I mean, we were laughing all the time. I can't believe we got everything. We got everything, honestly, in like 1 or 2 takes.
Taylor was like a fucking nuclear bomb dropping because he had no time, no interest. Right? Didn't he vibe like, I really shouldn't be here, but I'm going to be here anyway? And Mike and I, he just kept going. I mean, you're getting the tip of the iceberg of what he brought that night.
Yeah.
I mean, it just was non-fucking stop with this little shade of hostility. Like, enough for you motherfuckers, because I'm a real actor and I'm a real comedian. I've been on Carson. It's time for me to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Not that he was an ass, but there's just a little bit of gloss of that I noticed. And it's like, fuck, man, because he wasn't like chatty with us at all.
Right.
Between takes, it's like, just waiting. I'm waiting. I'm just gathering all my fucking neutron, juicy explosiveness, and I'm just going to drop it on the next take. And Mike and I are like, well, we could talk, right? He's like, I'm not talking to any of you assholes. And that was the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
And that night was just
magical.
Out there. It was just out there. He just an incredibly underrated comic, I have to say. Left us way too early. What he was actually capable of was astounding, I thought.
Yeah.
And that was a treat because he was kind of the only recognizable guy in it to me. I mean, granted, the guy from Rhoda played Rhoda's boyfriend in the sitcom Rhoda. I think forgive me his name, and who was supposed to be Shatner but ended up being Frankie Avalon.
Right.
You recognize him, right? But everybody else, just regular people. But that for me was like the night. It wasn't about Joe and Hubs that night. That was Taylor's night.
There was the one that still to me stands out where I couldn't get through it. We did, but like what happened afterwards was like I couldn't stop laughing for the longest time. Was the scene with China and I on the couch, where somehow, and there was like a couple moments where we were confronted with this like, oh shit, how do we get people off set? Like how do we end the scene? So, like someone's got to leave, or we got to get these guys out of the pool. Like how are we going to do that? But this one particular moment, we're sitting on the couch, and for some reason, she has to get up and she has to leave. And I remember Jim going, I don't know how to get her off the couch. And I just knee jerked it and said, why doesn't she say, like, I got to take a dump and just get up?
Okay.
Like, sisters don't just be, there she's yeah. She said, and they're like, yeah. And then, and they asked Sean, hey, you comfortable with like just saying it? You got to take a dump. And she did it. And I sat there, and I think they had to cut it fast because I didn't know if she was going to do it or not. And just that whole scene was just chill. And then all of a sudden she goes, yeah, I got to take a dump. And I just lost it. I completely lost it.
What's up, Rob?
Oh, I'm just trying to keep you honest, man. And this is, after all, the Purplestickey PoTcast. Are we going to smoke some fucking weed tonight or what, man?
Yeah. We can do that.
There you go. Sorry,
all right.
guys. But
all right. Let's just.
He fought me on this last night, if you remember, Brad.
I do.
And tonight we're doing it.
What are we just smoking, or is it a competition, or what?
We don't gotta compete every time. Let's just take a rip together.
I brought a Rolling Rock.
Oh yeah, rip the Rolling Rock too. Dude. All right, let's rock it.
I'm not gonna guzzle it though. I'm sipping now.
Oh.
Delicious.
Real interesting now.
Oh. All right.
Listen, I wanted to say to you too. Well, I have your attention. We don't have any show coming up after you, so you guys aren't on any kind of a time constraint. Just do whatever works.
Oh yeah.
Want to seal it with a kiss? Want to seal it with a kiss there, sweetheart?
Oh.
Well,
is that a
oh. Oh man.
I gotta put on my fucking glasses. What the fuck?
Are you serious?
Arr.
All I got is this though. Am I gonna chug this?
Ooh yeah, fuck yeah! I want to see that right here on webcam.
You don't understand? Like I just met these guys. I might throw up. All right.
Hug that licorice piss.
It might be appropriate.
Oh God, I know. Hard. Oh God. All right, I'll try.
No, the Jaeger.
Oh boy. Appropriate to say what? Don't hork.
Puke. Come on, puke.
Oh
God. That is not a face of a happy man.
I need more weed.
Real quick, just from a fanboy perspective question for you. I'm a really big fan of Clifton Collins.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys just have any amusing anecdotes you'd like to share about that guy, as a viewer, I'd love to hear it. And on that note, I'm going to get out of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Collins.
Clifton. There's many.
He was just so regular, I thought. I mean, he was so down to earth and sweet and cool. And
we're talking tech, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, completely nothing like his character.
No.
He seems like he's a stand-up guy. Yeah.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
So, but he you had to be laughing because they had to put zits on him, right? Like he looked like
Every night.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the only movie he looks like a fucking dork in. Every other thing I've
Yeah.
seen him in, he looked badass. He looks like a cool motherfucker. And this was cool because he pulls off tack like perfectly, and it was probably his age too. But yeah, another guy. So was this like the genuine cast that was with each other at nighttime? Were you guys just like a big group of friends?
Mm,
It's
You
pretty.
know, not everybody. Who was
No,
the asshole?
it was really separate. It was
Yeah.
really, really separate because a lot of it is Mike and I in that blue torpedo.
yeah.
And we're sitting together, you know, like 10 inches apart for hours.
Yeah. I think.
And then other people would come into our world and we'd comment on them and we'd groove or whatever. You know, like Mike Wiseman was another one, Crump's brother, or Dan Collins who played, you know, I mean, Crump or Dan Collins who played Crump's brother. You know, we'd like kind of get to vibe with them for a minute, and then Mike and I would be swept off into our little duo thing.
Yeah,
That's how it felt for me.
Yeah, same. I don't remember a lot of like what you typically call trailer time or downtime. It
We
was
were on the set all the time.
it was there, which was great. You know, of course we ate and you know, but like there wasn't a lot of sort of hang out. Everyone just have nothing to do while they figure out how to like the thing. Time. It was just very much. I remember just Brad and I wandering off and like for not very long it seemed until they was like, okay, we're ready for the next one.
We get called back always in mid conversation.
Yeah. Also, it was like we didn't have stand-ins. Like
That's true.
it wasn't like you know, oh here the you know A and B stand in for you know us or whatever it is, and like we just walk in, it's perfectly lit. Like I remember just going back and be like, could you stand there for a minute, like and okay or whatever it was, or like they had to adjust our outfits or whatever it was. It was never like not a lot of chill time, so to speak.
Now, Bradford said the other night that you guys wore your own clothing for the movie.
About 90% of what I was wearing, my shoes, that was my pants, that was my jacket.
That's awesome.
They just painted the Blue Oyster Cult thing on the back.
Okay.
That was my shirt. They just gave me that weird tie-dye shirt that was a little itchy. But
it's cool. I'd like hearing the authenticity of where everything came from. That's cool.
Yeah, they
Because
basically.
sometimes you. Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
No, I mean sometimes you'll watch a show and you'll see a character wear like a band shirt, and then you'll find out they don't know who the fuck that band is, or they never listen to them at all.
You don't like
so yeah, this is cool. Can I ask something though? Was there more to the Joe and the eyeball and the BOC, like, or is that just for the viewer to take their own, perspective in on it from what you were delivering, or was there more? Because I got to tell you, like, I get it and I don't, and I'm 35, so if you could clue me in a little more, it'd be very helpful.
I remember originally, I had a lot of time to think about it because originally the Stoned Age was a student film called Tax Chicks, and that's where I met Jim and Rich at AFI, and they did it, and that scene is in the actual original, like there's a VH copy of it floating around here somewhere. So I had a lot of time to think about that, and I remember seeing that and having to do that in the first initial short film. And from what I remember, it was an actual true story. A lot of these stories in the film are really taken from Jim and Rich's life. Like the Mondo Man is a guy they knew, and these little vignettes of things were things that happened to them or happened to friends of theirs that they just kind of put in this movie. I having to perform that just took it as a kind of like out of body experience, or like you see your future self and am I on the same? Am I on the right? There is something watching you, whatever it is it God? Is it whatever your faith, whatever your higher power is it? But what as a teenager, what could be developed at that point, and is just conscious, is like what it's basically I played it, or how I thought about it is Joe is finally kind of waking up in his own body, and he's starting to formulate a conscience about his actions and who he is, and that maybe there is something that maybe there is karma, maybe there is something, maybe and that's the moment that he acknowledges it, of all places, in a rock show. And the fact that the laser hits him is basically a sign, as simple as that. It's a sign that there's something more, and it's right there in the script, from what it says. And I just elaborated on what he says and tried to but it came from an actual experience, from one of Jim and Rich's friends, that they felt like that happened to him at a concert, but it was a Led Zeppelin concert.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, your performance, I took from that, Joe was realizing he was evolving and that he just didn't know what was next, but he was happy to, move forward. And then I think that also attributes to him being more dominant with Hubs at the end of the movie, telling him to shut the fuck up. This is what we're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I perceived it. But real quick before this disappears, my buddy Joseph Highmore says, "Are there any scenes that you remember shooting that didn't make the final cut of the film?"
Yeah, there's one.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Remember when we were painting the car?
Oh shit, man! We did that very early in the thing. Yeah. And then there was that intro they were going to do. We were going to be cavemen.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that would have been rad.
That never got anywhere. But I think that was to kind of bookend the whole Kubrick 2000 thing, because they wanted to begin it like that. And then I think when Mike and I had no idea how it was going to begin.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's this, old English scroll and fine. Like, Mike and I, what the fuck is this? But that's not even in the original script.
No.
Okay.
That was completely something else.
Yeah, but there was. That's true. And then, the only thing I remember was just us, painting the car, and then, that we were just owning it. Like, this is our vehicle. Like, what we save our money for and work on, and it's custom. But that never flew.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Now, so something Bradford said the other night, and he said it was nerve-wracking for him on set, but I gotta say, from the other side, the other perspective, it's very funny to hear. And you were there, Michael. So he was saying when you guys were doing the pool scene, that Renee's boyfriend was there.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
You remember? It's fucking glaring on the chaise lounge.
There was a bunch of little rattling things that on that day. There was that, and the fact that they didn't know how to get us out of the pool.
Didn't you do the monkey shit because the tension was so fucking intense?
I was like,
in the script.
Yeah.
You started to do this chest thing, because there was a fucking intense vibe, right?
It was intense, and I needed to get
That's
you
what
out.
happened.
I needed to get you, and I needed to get you out of the pool, and I was
oh my god, that's what happened.
I was like, what am I going to do? And Jim was like, you got to get him out of the pool, and you're not tough enough to can't pull them out. You can't break them up, and you got to take the tension away from them. And I was like, I'm gonna freak out. I just
you threw shit into the pool. That's what it was.
I just made it up. That is a complete made up thing where I just was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going gorilla, really gorilla, and freaking out, beating my chest and going woo woo, and grabbing furniture and throwing it at you until you're like, yeah, this is awesome. And then, but yeah, that was yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So, were there any other scenes Renee's boyfriend was there making things uncomfortable, or is it just the pool scene?
Well, I don't know that he made him uncomfortable. I think, like I said last night, I think it was there so she felt safe. Because I mean, it's a fucking low budget, middle of the night indie. Anything could happen. I completely vibed and got why she was doing it.
Yeah.
Well, there's the scene where she reveals her breasts, and there's the penguin, and you know, it's kind of the scene that they need to make it Porky's-esque, and they really need this shot. And it was uncomfortable. I remember it being a lot of takes, very mechanical. And it was the moment where I thought, oh shit, this could be such an exploitive piece of shit if we're not careful right now. You know, I mean, I because I knew why they needed it, you know, to fulfill the dictates of a certain, you know, requirements of this audience. But I remember it feeling a little bit tense. If I'm perfectly honest, I remember it being a little bit uncomfortable and tense. And I just come off a set where an actress had to do something similar, and we had to get a SAG rep on there to make her feel safe. And I thought, oh Christ, I hope this doesn't happen. But then again, it's Jim Melkonian, who's not going to, you know, crush anybody's dignity, you know. But I didn't, you know, Jim is very quiet, so I really didn't know him that well. I didn't know him the way Michael knew him, you know. And he's very, very, very quiet and sedulous in his thinking, and it's methodical. And you know, there was Rich, who had all the personality and the giggles and happy and hey, this is great, and Jim, who was very, very focused on this thing, you know, kind of a Hubs Joe dynamic, ironically. You know, that was there all the time. So it's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Like,
so when you guys would talk, would you guys be building on your characters, or would it just be completely unrelated, just nothing to do with the movie when you guys were just chilling?
Both. I remember a lot of it being completely unrelated.
Completely.
You know?
We thought
Yeah. I couldn't talk to Mike Kopelow as Michael Hubs. You just couldn't, because Mike Kopelow wouldn't relate to this guy in real life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's just deeper and more sensitive than that. He's more interesting than that. So it's like I had to like be me and then jump back into this guy. You know what I mean?
Well, vice versa. Like I said earlier, I was more. I mean, sometimes like there probably are nights and days that like I don't remember very much the acting or what we did, because I was more interested to get to the downtime, if we got any, to just talk to Brad about more
whatever.
I mean, it was so it was a complete antithesis of who we were in those roles when we weren't. Well, like we were talking about literature and astrology and astronomy and books and other actors and what we thought they and just life itself and experiences and our travels and our time and relationships, and like we were nerding out, man. And
yeah, that's what it was.
So off scenes, it's all cultured, and then they're like action, and you're like, oh, it's funny.
Yeah, like we should have had like tea, you know. I'd be like, really, that's fascinating. And then, but then it was just like, okay, Joe Hubs, we need you, you know. And then we go and be like, yeah, and we be in our like in our moments. But and I'd be like, we go, okay, we done with this scene, so I really want to hear more about these, you know, these concepts of astrology that you're talking about that I've never heard before, like, and get back to it.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. So you guys said you spent a lot of time in the car. Is that due to just getting enough shots, or was the car not in tow? Like, were you actually driving it?
Yeah. One time we were.
Yeah.
One time they just hooked a camera on the windshield and said, "You guys go drive."
Yeah.
Sweet.
Remember that?
Yeah, for hours.
Huh.
For hours.
That's what's up.
That's and then we just drove all over the San Fernando Valley and
did all kinds of shit you'll never see.
Yeah.
You'll never see. It's all filmed, but just shit you will never see.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of my favorite nights, because the line between reality and filmmaking was so thin that night. because there was just the slight whir of the RA Flex on the hood of the car. But we were just two fucking assholes in a car driving in the middle of the night in reality, because I'm having to watch traffic lights and traffic and shit, and I'm having to be present because we're not being towed. It's always like the guy doing the fucking tow thing, and he's never watching the road. Like we couldn't do that. And Mike's setting the lighter off and doing all kinds of crazy shit. I'm trying to drive. Throwing
things at him. And
really good. It was fun, and I've never ever done anything like it since.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool because most vehicles are in tow when they're shooting.
We did that for the dialogue scenes.
Okay.
But I think this was a sequence that they were going to open the movie with, and there are pieces of it.
Yeah, there are.
Well, they're doing, I think the Black Sabbath song.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's lighting your cigarette and whatnot, you're actually driving?
It was that all came from this like all night weird, just driving into the void night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember.
Also, Brad, I don't know if you remember this. It just occurred to me. The Pussy song, we had no playback. We had we did that without playback. We're like
man, we're so talented. I remember.
We're pretending at the same time.
That's right, because there was going to be an insert shot when the tape fucked up.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to give us all the sophistication, and at the time, even though it was years ago, they couldn't figure we couldn't have playback. Really, it's like so we're driving, and both of us have to be listening to the same song, not looking at each other, grooving on it, and then at the same time realize that the tape gets scarfed, and then
what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was just that whole thing was just no playback.
And in my mind, it was you're smelling a fart.
Yeah,
you're smelling a fart. What the fuck is it? You don't fucking fart in the. You know what I mean? It was because now that you say it, yeah, it was silent.
Yeah, it was mostly all that shit was silent, and then I was kind of waiting for him to come in with what the fuck is that, and it's just like what that is. It's BOC. It's
the way that he fucking did it, come on, cool, right?
We were at the fucking concert. You know what this is? Like, don't fuck with me. You know what this is.
Yeah, but I only like half their songs, right?
Okay, so now I just remembered one question I had because I know movies are movies. So this was prop weed, right? That you were just lugging around?
The Schnapster?
The weed you had and the swag you had.
Oh yeah, it wasn't real. It was sage and mint.
Okay.
Okay.
I would have suspected there would have been somebody smoking on set. Was there a clique of smokers?
There probably were somewhere.
Just not with you guys. You guys were tea and intellectual conversation.
Time to fuck around. There was no time because you had only the nighttime hours. You're limited. I can't tell you how many times Mike and I had to put our backs to the sunset just to get the shot.
Yeah.
Because we just it was fun, but it was fun to make because we were making it all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
We were constantly working on it. Was the feeling that I would because there was this before you knew it, the sun was coming up.
Yeah.
Didn't get the shot.
So did every scene seem like your longest scene, or was there actually like a longest scene that you were like, damn, this took too long?
No, I mean there was very rarely were there ever difficulties. The only scene that kind of that I can remember right now seemed to take kind of a while was when Crump Wiseman kicks through the door, and we had to kind of get these. They weren't props; they were actual iron, like what you had in the fireplace.
Okay.
And we had to sit there. We're like, wait a minute, we just can't go slugging at his ankles with this when he comes. We got to kind of make sure we hit this right. He had the steel tip boots, but we got to make sure we don't hurt him.
But we did.
We
fucking hurt him.
Yeah, we heard him.
I remember that now. Oh my God. And he's the sweetest guy, Mike Wiseman.
I know.
And because we wailed on his fucking ankles. We got so amped because Mike was huge and he would come through that door like it was paper.
Yeah.
you know, and not a lot would freak out Hubs, but that dude would.
Yeah.
And
Well, it looks like that made the movie.
It did, but you didn't hear Mike screaming in pain on the other side of the door, and Mike was like, "Oh fuck!" When
he's screaming, "Oh, let me have my chicks!" Like that's really him in pain.
Oh, we were dicks. Oh fuck! Yeah.
But that took a long time because we were being so not timid, but I don't want to hit him. And then I think we just got the direction of like it just looks fake. We gotta do something. And I'm like, all right, sorry, man. And then like whap, and then we actually hit him. And
fuck, man.
Yeah.
And so that's real.
Yeah, like this is real. Now he's actually. I really think Wiseman's going to come through the door and kick both of our asses.
And there's another real moment like that when I first meet Crump's brother, because Dan Collin has nipple piercings.
Yeah,
and I have to grab his shirt, and I grab his nipple piercing, and I fucking crank him up, and whatever Dan is registering, I believe is authentic. You remember that? And then he's like, "Oh, dude." I'm like, "What the fuck? You're on your period? What the fuck?"
And then he's like, "Got them too."
We almost tore it out. Like it was nasty. Yeah.
No, I can. Oh, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. I remember that now.
Coming back.
Oh yeah.
Coming back.
So, all right. So you guys, you seem very, very smart, very artistic type of guys. So now I'm starting this off this way because I'm expecting you to like give me an answer to my question that I'm not expecting. But do you think this is a movie that can't be touched? Do you think there's no way that there could be a movie where people are like, this movie is really good. It really reminds me of Stone Age. And then, like say at the end of the movie, you two are the fathers or the uncles or something related to tie it all in. Do you think that is something that could still like work, or do you think where that movie ended is where it should be left?
I don't know. I mean, as far as like, I think you're touching on like a sequel.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know. I mean, I think that like if it came from the original writers, if it came from Jim and Rich, and that's something that they actually envision or organically come across, I think it's an organic story. I think a response to this or a continuation of it would have to be organic and make sense, and not just kind of like, because also it's a cult film. It's not like Hollywood's waiting for this. It's not, there isn't like a where's our, it's not like a Bill and Ted's or something like that where they can just keep,
right,
putting that in a different time travel scenario. I think it would have to come from them, but I mean, it would, I don't know. I mean, I've been blown away, I guess, by other films and people's work where I was like, I can't see it, but I don't deny it. I don't like excuse it as a possibility,
Right. Yeah, it would have to be a really well written situation there. What do you think, Bradford?
Well, but what's it going to be about? Is it going to be about two old guys' regrets?
I mean, here's the one thing.
Where are they now? Because that's one night lightning in a bottle. So if you don't structure it the same way, it's really not a sequel. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like Jaws without a shark, because it has to be one night. Well, I don't know. Did Joe and Hubs ever fall out of contact with each other? Probably.
Yeah. Does he marry Lainey and have a bunch of, or does he marry Jill? Like, what?
And you just have to ask yourself, what's the end game in doing that? Because it's going to be another comment, unless Mike and I aren't the leads of it. It's about our kids or something.
That's what I'm saying. Something like that, where like, say like, yeah, all of you don't in the movie, fall along the lines of starting where you guys aren't in touch. None of you original, uh, the original cast I would like to see, but you know, the storyline, you guys aren't in touch with each other. Like, what were you saying the other night? Like, you could see like Hubs like being like a car salesman or something, like just falling into a job where he could basically manipulate and get what he wants out of life, even when he's older.
Yeah, but again, it's like they tried it with American Graffiti, you know, more American Graffiti.
Okay.
And whatever your feelings are on that film, it's one night only. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's just something to be said for me of the whole power of that movie. Even when we made it was about nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
You know? It was just a simpler, raw, because we're never on a cell phone. We're never engaged in any technology.
Mm-mm.
We're completely in the moment. We're going from adventure to adventure to adventure to adventure. And 20 years from now, kids are going to look at that and not going to believe young people actually lived that way. You mean they didn't have the fucking thing strapped to their faces? No, we actually went out and lived life.
Yeah. How'd they find the house without GPS? Like
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's such a weird little time capsule.
I mean, I think that's the thing, though. I think the movie was written so well that there is room to make something like a sequel, probably, if time was taken to be really well. Like say Hubs has a son, whether he knows that he has a son or not. Once he gets to know the son, can't get in contact with the son, and it reminds him of himself, because when he was growing up, there wasn't cell phones, and that's what his son's acting like. And now Hubs is all grown up and on his son. You know what I mean? Just like little things like that.
Well,
and I say, what I would get at is, like, at the end of the movie, you two would go back to your roots, no matter what age you're at.
Well, here's an interesting kind of addendum to that, because when Stanley Kubrick adapted Clockwork Orange, in Burgess's original novel, there's a 13th chapter. And in the last chapter of Clockwork Orange, Alex grows up, becomes a responsible adult, and all of that horror was just a glitch in his adolescence. And to Burgess, that was what the novel was about. This level of insanity, of violence, of rape, of disenfranchisement of the youth is a phase. And Kubrick said, bullshit. He's a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where there was this huge falling out. So I kind of like Kubrick's take on that. He just let it be what it was.
Yeah.
And didn't comment on it and didn't contextualize it. And that would be my fear of a sequel, is it doesn't need to be contextualized.
Okay.
It just exists. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say no to it, of course, but
yeah.
I mean, Rich makes all kinds of cryptic comments, and a lot of them are how Joe died. So I don't think that Rich wants to, like, he's, you know, he was killed by the Hillside Strangler in 1979, or I don't know what he does this shit. And so I don't think it's even on Rich's radar to do something like that.
There was one thing that I saw recently that I like while I was watching it, gave me a little bit of I wouldn't say hope, but just more like conceptually going, okay, that's really smart, and that's the continuation of the Karate Kid with that one series.
It's true.
Cobra Kai. And I'm not saying that, you know, but that I was like, you know, I'm going to give it. I mean, the sequels, I love Karate Kid. One of my favorite. The first one was one of my favorite films ever. But the sequels were like, okay, enough, you know. But the series and what they did with that, I thought was smart, and I bought it on an entertainment level. And one episode, I'm like, I don't know about this, but then I got hooked, and I was like, I watched like every single one of them. That's the closest thing that I've seen, taking an original, nostalgic, you know, time capsule-esque sort of thing, movie, whatever it is, and then modernizing it into today, where you still are rooting for those two characters.
Right, but you're again, that movie was a cultural phenomenon when it came out. People could get enough of it, and like you said, this is a cult film that people have ownership of.
Yeah.
at this point. So it's like Joe Average isn't going to fucking go see this movie.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing I was saying before. It's like this isn't like Hollywood never owned this.
No,
The
right.
This is an individual find. When you find before technology, it's just like passing. Watch this movie here, or borrow this, or check it out. Like this, that's what blows me away. Is like this movie became what it is, and then I had to I was confronted by it socially. Just be like, really? Because it was word of mouth. It didn't have the luxury of any of the technology we have now.
Right.
And it wasn't. I guess it was released for like a day or something in another state, but like it wasn't released. It didn't never got that. There wasn't commercials. There wasn't. Didn't get the advertising. It didn't get that. Like, is it, ladies and gentlemen, the Stone Age? It just never got that.
It was the movie you rented because you couldn't get the movie you wanted to rent.
Yeah.
Like the movie you wanted. I'll fucking watch this piece of shit. She looks hot.
Yeah.
What a price. She looks hot must have been the catchphrase of every Blockbuster video guy.
Yeah.
There's watching just some dude okay, she looks hot. Let's rent this. So you can thank Renee probably for a lot of that because that's the cover. Why else would you pick it up? You've never seen these fuckers. You don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
It's saying it's better than Dazed and Confused, which is like, what? How's that even relevant?
That's weird.
It's just weird. Why are you even competing with Richard fucking Linklater? That makes sense. Like on a whole other fucking level. That was
always a little embarrassing for me.
Yeah, it's just like, that doesn't make any sense.
I like it.
You wanted to see it because there's this beautiful blonde on the cover.
Yeah, these guys look crazy. What's
up, Rob?
Well, I'll tell you. First of all, big shout out to your boy Joseph, who says he still has his original VHS copy of the film. That's pretty goddamn impressive, right?
Yeah.
Did you do that thing I said, Rob? Like, did you give him an opportunity or no?
I having a hard time tacking up with their actual profiles, but real quick side note, two things. First of all, it's been another half an hour, Mr. Purplestickey, so we're gonna have to do this again. But before we do that, I just received a very interesting idea from one of our viewers, which was maybe here relatively soon we could do another Purplestickey special edition where we can actually show the Stone Age and bring some people on, like when I did the screen similar to this, right? It would run very similar to this, where in this big screen we would show the movie, and along the side perhaps some of the actors to share some commentary on that idea.
Yeah, I think that would. Dude, there would be so much shit we'd have to do to get the okay on that one.
I think what you need to do is go ahead and let the producer handle that part and just share the idea with the talent to see if maybe that's something y'all would be interested in. Don't feel obligated to answer right now.
True producer talk.
We still got to figure out the logistics of it. But if we can work that out, and if you guys are willing, then we'll have old Mr. White Jesus here. I don't know if you noticed I changed your name. We'll have White Jesus reach out to you guys and maybe Renee. Maybe we can work out just like everybody eat some popcorn and hang out and watch a movie together.
I mean, with the right movie and the right people, which these guys are, and the movie is the right one, commentary would be pretty entertaining.
I would fucking agree. I mean, so far I have just... By the way, it's awesome having the cast of two guys from the cast of the same movie on. This is just thoroughly entertaining. And Purplestickey, White Jesus, great fucking job booking, dude. You kicked ass on this one.
I just annoy people until they come on the show.
Until they say, all right, you shut you up.
So I make them feel sorry for me. I tell them how stupid I am. And they're like, yeah, I'll come on the show. Just leave me the fuck alone.
Well, I mean, you're not lying.
All right, let's do this real quick.
So that's a good thing.
All right, let's do this real quick. Listen, you ready?
If we do that, I'm going to make you guys smoke out of a can.
Oh, man.
Bro, if it'll get you
to bone.
If it'll get you to come on, I'll smoke out of a fucking can. I'll go super old school with it. Man, I'll carve out an apple, dude. I'll be like Alec Baldwin.
A can.
Or Stephen Baldwin. All right, bro. I need my corkscrew opener, an apple, and a straw. Hurry up, man.
The way I smoke, if we use a can, man, I'll be like, I won't even know what we're doing by the end of the episode. I won't even know who you are or what I even am. I'll be like, what? I probably won't even be speaking English.
I feel like that's the end goal for every podcast. I mean, for fuck's sakes, it's called a PoTcast.
No, I mean, you're going to be like, where'd the red go on your Coca-Cola can? Like, you know how much I smoke.
I want to know where the white went in your eyes.
A beautiful shade of dog dick red.
All right, gentlemen, keep up the good work. I'm having a great fucking time sitting back here watching you guys.
Excellent.
Well, we're probably gonna wrap this one up. See, now it made me take a bong hit, and I don't even know what I want to say now.
Just imagine we're doing
a podcast, you sissy.
Brad and I could start minding some weird shit, and then you'd be like, "What the hell?"
No, I'm professional. I can get my shit together. All right. No, I asked my producer. We did have somebody asking questions, so I said, if you had somebody asking questions, why don't you give them a link and let them pop on for like 2-3 minutes so the actual person can talk to you guys, and then pop them off, and I guess I don't know what Rob's malfunction is. He can hit a bong, he can't hit a mouse. The
problem is they just show comments. It's not like there's a fucking link to their Facebook page. It's a comment they're posting in a chat room. So I'm not going to be like publicly, hey, whatever your chat, your messenger. So I tried to work it out, but it didn't fly. Sorry, sweetheart.
Look, Cupcake, all you had to do was just basically say message you, and then when they message you, you give them the link.
Okay, how about this? I put message me right now. Boom, message me. Now we'll see.
I know Joe would want to talk to these guys, and I don't want to hold him up too much longer, but Joe's a really cool guy. And he's been asking questions. So if Joe, if you're watching right now, if you want to come on, Facebook message Rob, and he'll send you a link so you can pop on real quick and have some FaceTime. But goddamn him in that bong hit. Now I'm like, what do I? Because I don't write down questions. I try to go off the dome. And I will say I did watch the movie last night as a refresher. That's why I was just kind of curious about how long the scenes took and if you were driving or not, and the funniest moments. But it seems like that I have that in common with you guys. Like I said, I'm more inexperienced, but when I was shooting the indie film I was shooting in Philadelphia with very low budget, I mean super low budget, where it was like the people I was working with, some of them were from the area we were working in. They're like, you need to go inside right now. And I'm like, why? They're like, because that looks like a drive-by. Like it was stuff like that. Like we were in a bad part of Philly. And then the worst part about the movie we were filming was I was the leader of a gang, and the entire gang was black, and I'm white. And so then when we would go cut, some of these guys I didn't know would be like, when do I get to kill the white guy? And it was like, that was my uncomfortable shit. Wow. But then, I would connect with the one person I was working with the most and actually did have car scenes with, which is funny. And the car was blue. It was really funny. But, and we connected, and yeah, our characters were completely opposite of what we were on screen. And it sounds exactly like what you guys were talking about. So I understand what it's like, where you're like, you don't expect that you're going to meet a new friend and connect on a level you wouldn't expect at all. And someone's like, oh yeah, I'm here for a job. So that's cool that, you don't think that happens too much with actors, or a lot of us wonder how actors become friends. But what's up? Like, do neither of you guys do anything indie, like where you pick up the camera yourself and have anything going? I know that Bradford is a writer.
I've done it
And-
twice. I've
Okay.
made movies. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. But yeah, I've done it. It's,
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, what would you say funding is the hardest thing?
Well, if you write the right story with today's technology, you don't need a lot of it. You know, if you do like, you know, a single house creeper or whatever it is, you know, like what the Duplass guys figured out, that kind of thing, that doesn't require a lot of budget, but a lot of craft, you know, because
Right.
you either have money or, you know, skill. Because without money, you've got to have mad skill to make it work.
I
All
agree.
right, I just sent your buddy a link. He's looking for his VHS, but he's going to be right on.
He's got to bring his VHS. That's cute. Well, okay. Well, at least we're successfully having
I guess.
another fan come on. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I met this guy that's about to pop on. He, his friend's a rapper, and my band, which is called Purplestickey, we were raising money for our album that's coming up, and they did like the highest donation where they recorded a song with us. So, Michael, are you familiar with anybody from MTV's Jackass or like Viva La Bam or anything like that from like 20 years ago?
A little bit. I will have to let you know. I'm gonna have to get off soon.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not. I mean, not get off.
No, I figured.
Bounce soon. But
Absolutely.
I remember. I mean, those guys kind of like a whole bunch of people floating around, like wherever I was. But not. I remember like what's his name?
Bam Margera.
I remember him, and then there was another guy, shaved head, who did like the wildest shit.
Steve-O.
Steve-O, yep, yeah. I used to run into Steve-O quite a bit. I don't know if he would remember me, but I remember him.
Okay.
I saw him once at a show at the Key Club, where he opened up the show and I was there. One of my bands was playing there at the time, and he opened up the show by peeing in a bottle on stage and then drinking it.
Oh, very nice.
And I was like, well, that's something I'm never going to do. But
So, yeah, my co-host, and he's also my bandmate, is Rake Yan from Jackass and Viva La Bam. He was the wilder looking guy with the long hair, more metal looking guy. And he couldn't make it tonight. But he's experiencing right now how's he put it? I guess just the nature of the beast with the machine is how he would put it. So Jackass 4 is eventually coming out, and he's in it, but he didn't film anything. They just kind of hit him up last minute and was like, your stuff that's vaulted in Paramount from 20 years ago is going to go in this movie, and we've already paid you for it. And like really just kind of like we're mafia about it, like we're gonna cut your audio so we don't have to pay you anymore. And so that's what he's kind of going through right now, and he's not even trying to be an actor, but you know, they have legal obligations to contact him. and they're just not nice to him at all, and no cast members that are supposedly his friends are hitting him up or anything. But he takes it with a grain of salt and is just, you know, enjoying life no matter what, which I pride him in that, and I'm happy that I'm friends with him. But it's crazy what an actor can be put through.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, they're putting out previews and his face is all over it in the movie theaters right now, and he's just living the well, at the moment, single dad life, where he's taking care of 2 kids and he's like a scientist, and then people are like, I just saw you on the movie theater screen. And he's like, oh, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hit the 20-minute mark, and it looks like the guy's not coming. I don't want to hold you guys up anymore because I usually end this shit up. What's up, Rob?
I mean, he is coming. I don't know how long it's taking him to log on. I'm just saying. He did say, wait.
I'm gonna say I'll give him a minute.
Bingo.
All right. What's up, Joe?
What's up, guys? It's nice to see all you guys. It's nice to meet you guys too. I just want to chime in for a second. Yeah, Stone Age is a great fucking flick, and I definitely remember seeking it out and seeing it like a VHS rental store and grabbing it and just being blown away. It's definitely better than Dazed and Confused for sure.
Absolutely. Did you have any questions for him, brother?
No, I just I've definitely enjoyed the podcast, and I've just been sitting here smoking and listening to all your guys' questions, and they were great, man. Thanks for doing this, by the way, too.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Well, I know you guys got to get going and stuff, but yeah, dude, this has been fucking awesome. And I couldn't find my VHS.
Well, Joe, you can hang out, and I don't want to tie these guys up anymore, but Michael and Bradford, thank you for helping me out, and Bradford showing up a second time. It means so much to have you guys together. Thank you for sharing like your stories and answering all of our dumb fucking questions and dealing with our dumb fucking situations.
Well,
really appreciate your time.
I got to see Brad, and that was worth every second for me just to see this guy.
Speaking for the Off the Hook Network, man, this was one of the better podcasts we've done in a while, and thank you guys for coming on. And Tristan, dude, double brownie points for you on some good goddamn booking.
Hey, man, thank you. I try. I just, whatever. Again, so Michael and Bradford, thank you again.
Thank you.
We hope to have you on the show in the future, and we'll talk soon. You guys have a good night.
You got it.
Cheers,
guys.
Cheers.
Oh, all I know is we got to work it out to do this, to do the movie, do the Stone Age movie. Maybe we can even get Renee on too.
All right, we got to fund it. We got to get the writers on board, dude.
It could work. I mean, it could work. It could work.
The movie is over 20 years old, man. It falls under the public property right. That's not the problem. The only problem is Facebook going to have a problem with it.
Nah, you got to respect everybody. I want the original writers in on that.
In on what? Showing the movie?
Oh, you're just talking about showing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
showing it, getting some people in to commentate on it while we're showing it. I'm not saying, hey, we should fund part 2. Maybe we should.
We should.
I mean, it could work if they told like a coming of age story in one night with the next generation, maybe their kids or something like that, experiencing it maybe in the 90s, maybe, because I think that movie took place in the 70s. So,
to tell you the truth, I'd like to get both those guys in my you're gonna laugh, bro, but in my professional wrestling vampire flick, I'd like to get both those guys in it because I got some pretty predominant, powerful, like legendary characters to put in it.
Well, I'm pretty sure first thing they're gonna say is that they work for Scale.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to pay them, dummy. This isn't my first year in the entertainment business.
Okay, but Scale is okay. Well, I work for Scale, and we're on our 9th episode, so look it up.
fuck yeah.
That's 28 grand.
This is
28 grand.
This is a podcast, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Shall we?
So $28,000 times 9.
Yeah. I'll give you a handful of my dick. Does that work?
Why are we still live?
I mean, you can always crowdfund too. I mean,
You got to
Tristan,
cut
you-
this.
you-
We
you
can
know
talk
that?
about this off the air. Handful of your dick.
You didn't give a big outro, so I'll be the professional, me of all people.
I did. I said goodbye to everybody.
All right, fine. Screw you.
Show, brother. You had what I said.